In this video, I'm going to talk about what 99.9% of women like to hear from guys. Sharp came here coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And P.S. and by the way, before I get started, click the little bell below. That way, you'll get the videos, the new uploads of all my videos. And subscribe if you haven't already. So, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've traveled all around the world. I don't know how many countries I've visited at this point. So I've met a lot of people from all walks of life, men and women. And I've discovered that there's one thing that most women have in common. Doesn't matter how she was raised very much, or where she's from, she rich or she poor, or who her dad was, or what the position her family was in. There's always exceptions to the rule. But there's one skill set, above all, that really transcends race, nationality, class, and anything that you might hear that people say, hey, this makes a difference, that makes a difference. And that one thing is having the gift, the gab, being able to talk that talk, being able to think on your feet, being spontaneous. That's the one skill set that I've learned over the years. Above all else, that makes a huge difference when it comes to women. Having the gift of gab, man. I'm telling you. And some people will say, well, what if you don't speak their language? Well, find somebody else that can speak the language. As a matter of fact, there's a new device that speaks multiple languages. If you speak English into this device, it's like a little device. I seen it online a couple days ago. If you speak into this little device, it will transcribe, or it will spill out the other language that you got it set to the people that you're trying to talk to on the other end. I forgot the name of it. I just seen it a couple days ago. But I've heard about, I knew this was coming out a long time ago. I heard people talking about it. But if you speak English inside this, it's like the size of a microphone too. It's about this long. It's like $100. Actually, I saw the commercial on YouTube. I saw the commercial on YouTube. An ad on YouTube, I should say. And I saw the infomercial on television 2 weeks ago. It's like $99. Basically, you can speak English into this little device, and whatever language you have it set, it could be Chinese, Japanese, Spanish. And in the ad that I saw online, the lady was demonstrating how it works. So I think it's dope. So if you travel, it doesn't matter what country you go to now, I would highly recommend you get that device. You know, I forgot the name of it, but I think it's something that you should have if you're going to travel, especially if you don't speak the language in the country that you're going to visit. So, but regardless of the language barrier, certain languages, they still got the swag. They still got the charm. They still got the charisma. Regardless of the language, you can still do the same thing. And body language is much more powerful than actually speaking. Really, The majority of your body, see, the body never lies. The majority of speaking is nonverbal. Really, I mean, if we just keep it real, really. So you might not have the gift of gab. You might not be able to talk that talk. You might not be so spontaneous, be able to think on your feet, because that takes time. This doesn't happen like overnight. Somebody either has to teach you how to do this, or you have to learn. Now me, I learned on my own. Nobody taught me, or I didn't take a class, anything like that. And even if you take a class, you still have to get out here and experiment and live life. And the more experience you get, the older you become, the more of your life you live, you just learn and you get used to it. It's like repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill. So if you keep doing something for a long period of time, years, weeks, months, it becomes like a part of you. So it doesn't matter where I've been, having the gift of gab is priceless. And some people will say, well, why do I even have to have the gift of gab? Why do I have to be able to think on my feet? Why does it matter? Because that moves women. That's why. You can build a connection with women much faster. Sometimes within seconds. Because if you can move women, if you can make establish an emotional connection with women, she won't be able to forget about you so easily. And entertainers, they understand this down to a science. This is why you have some entertainers, they ain't put out music in 10, 20 years. Probably longer than that, but they can still get on that stage and move the crowd because they understand the energy. They understand the vibe. They understand the words. They're like wordsmiths. They understand. They understand it's a science to this. They understand people. And see, the more you can understand people, the better your quality of life is going to be. Because if you can't establish a connection, especially when it comes to women, they're going to forget you. You're going to be like these other guys out here. And then it's like, this is why a lot of women in these other cultures, it's kind of like they're not taught to establish connection with people. They're just taught that you're just a cog in the wheel. You're like a machine. So it's easy to forget about a guy if you've been taught to look at a guy that way. But if you're the type of dude that got the gift of gab, if you understand everything that I'm talking about down to a science, you can recondition that woman. You can show that woman how you want to be treated, how you want to be remembered. And she has to be open to accept your leadership. If she's not open to it, well, of course, it ain't going to work. But I've met women that were raised to look at guys like they're some machine, a robot, or something like that. And they listen, they open up. And I taught them like a new way of life, a new way of connecting and building relationships with people. Because a lot of people, they weren't taught to build relationships with people. They were just taught, hey, this is part of my culture. This is how we do it. But that's not necessarily building a relationship. I see you when I see you. If I look like you, okay, this is how we supposed to do. But that's not necessarily a friendship. That's just more something they do when they see each other. They eat together and hang out together. And that's probably it. But it's nothing that's really being established. But building a relationship, building a real connection with somebody, that's the next level. That's like, that can last forever. you could be remembered forever. Just like people that die. Let's take Nipsey Hussle. There's a reason why he's going to be remembered. It ain't just because he's a rapper. It's much deeper than that. There's a reason why Tupac, Biggie, Prince, Michael Jackson, there's a reason why these people are being remembered. Because they made people feel a certain type of way. And that's because they had that charm, that charisma, the gift of gab, baby. They had it. They knew what time it was. But it's much bigger than being an entertainer. They were much more than an entertainer, and they knew it. That's why people can't forget about them. That's why people can't forget about their legacy. So if you want to be unforgettable, you have to develop the gift of gab, baby. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know? So hey, you know, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share it, hit the bell below. That way you won't miss any of my interviews. Until next time, I'm out. Peace!